Hello YouTube, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another 10 car Tuesday episode, and today we're going to take a look at some blue cards. I got some pretty cool things for us to look at here. All 10 of them are different castings, so that's pretty exciting. And we're going to start with this one right here, the 80s Firebird. So blue cards, you know, around the early 90s, basically, 1990. I'm not sure what year they actually stopped doing them in. Then they went to like a two-tone card. Anyway, so they had a collector number down at the bottom. Lots of cool cars came out in the blue card era. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this 80s Firebird first. And we'll just open that up. And let's see here. We're going to zoom in. Looks pretty good. Let's see if I can adjust here down here. Okay, so pretty sweet tampo on the hood. That's awesome. This one, the copyright date of this is 1982, so that's typically when the first one of these 80s Firebirds came out in Hot Wheels. It was probably 1983. And this one is a pretty cool one. So it's plastic base, metal body. It's got basic wheels, both small wheels, which this casting's been seen with offset wheels as well as just both small wheels. And it looks pretty good. So that's a pretty solid one to add to my Firebird collection. Stoked about that. And let's see here. Next up, we're going to take a look at collector number 232. And this is the Lamborghini Countach. What a cool casting. Very, very awesome. So this one debuted in the, maybe just before the blue card era. But here it is. Love this casting. This is an all-metal casting, so metal base, metal body. It's got the ultra hot wheels, and what's the date here? 1987 was the copyright date, so likely 1988 would have been like the first time this car would have been released. It's a really cool casting. It's a heavy casting. I've got a lot of the variations of the Countach. It's definitely one of my favorite cars of all time. And so this is an obvious no-brainer for me to collect this car. So definitely dig that. Very, very cool. Super awesome. All right, so there's that. That's car number 2. And then the next one we're going to take a look at is an interesting car from around the same period here. This is the Vector Avtech WX3. This was a crazy car. I don't know how many of these were actually produced. This packaging is copyright date 91. This is just a cool supercar to own. The Vector. So this car company, I don't believe, ended up being successful at all. But they did make a few of these. This is copyright date 1992, so probably 93 is when it first showed up. Always like the styling of the real car. It's just pretty sweet. Kind of falls in line of a concept car, even though I believe they did produce and sell a few. I think they did. I would have to look into that. The casting is kind of interesting because the top is plastic. This top up here is plastic. Of course, the windshield's plastic. So it's got two separate plastic pieces on top, and then it's got the metal body, plastic base, ultra hot wheels. I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, if you're not familiar with this car, look it up. It's interesting. I know I did in the past. I looked it up, and unfortunately I didn't do it right before this video, so my knowledge is not fresh. But a pretty cool car for our 10 car Tuesday blue card episode. And then next up we got a classic Hot Wheels casting, the Roll Patrol, in a new paint style, which is a sort of khaki camouflage with blacked out wheels. Not a bad looking Jeep right there. This casting's had a ton of releases. What is the copyright date on this one? It says copyright date 1990. And I'm pretty sure this Jeep was released a ton of times. 5-packs and all sorts of stuff. But here it is. I like the look of this one. I think it looks good with the blacked out black wall wheels. Just got a little bit of camo action on the hood, and that's it. Other than that, it's just a kind of a plain khaki color. But as far as examples of this casting goes, I think this one looks pretty good. So I think it's unlicensed. It's a Jeep, but I think it's an unlicensed car, which is why they call it the Roll Patrol. And the front end looks a little different, I think, than a normal Jeep would look. And I think that's kind of how they get away with it without licensing. That's my theory anyway. Maybe this is licensed. I'm not sure. I don't think it is, though. Later on, I think they released a casting that's super similar. That was the Jeep CJ7. But this one, I don't think is licensed. Still a really cool one. It's obvious what it is. It's a Jeep. So there it is. Next one we got is a Corvette. This is the custom Corvette. Collector number 200. Copyright date on the back of the packaging is 1991. And there you go. This one is pretty nice. This is a pearl white. I remembered having this car when I was a little kid, too. Base is a little jacked up on it. And why is that? Looks like part of the rivet is, like, broken. I wonder if I can snap this back into place at all. No, I don't think I can. So, this side looks great. The other side looks like we got a little bit of an error going on. And it looks like almost like, oh yeah, the front wasn't spun down all the way. And that resulted in this base being completely jacked up and not in on the post all the way. And it won't go in either. So that means that there's something up with this that is preventing it from going all the way in. And that's probably why the rivet didn't get put down properly. You can like move the interior around and everything. So that's interesting. Not sure what I'm going to end up doing with this one. That's a weird error. Alright, so there it is. Corvette. Other than that, the casting's pretty cool. The copyright date on the bottom of the casting is 1988, so that tells you around when the casting was first released. So here it is, ZR1. Tampos look alright. Corvette logo up there. The pearl white color looks good. I like the Ultra Hot Wheels. I know not a lot of people are fans of those wheels, but it reminds me of my childhood, and I enjoy them quite a bit. So there you go. There's that. That was a weird one. Unexpected to get almost. It's not really an unspun because it was spun down, but just not all the way. All right. We got another Corvette. This is a Corvette's Stingray, the Gleam Team Edition, collector number 192. A little bit of variation in the card there. You got that Gleam card. And it came with like a mirrored back there in the package. It's kind of interesting. This is a plastic body. Metal base, plastic body. Very interesting textured plastic chrome. So that is definitely a weird one for the Corvette Stingray. I do like the Corvette Stingray casting. I think it's pretty cool. And of course, this Corvette Stingray has been around for quite some time. It's been around 1975 is what it looks like is the copyright date on it. Alright version of the casting. A weird one. With this weird textured plastic body. Just a little bit strange. Hot Wheels did some weird stuff over the years, and this would be definitely included in the category of weird stuff. Alright, so that's that. We've done 6 cars. The last 4 are all going to be like Indy cars here. So this first one is the No Fear race car number 244. Copyright date on this one was 1991. And there that one is. So it's after like a Formula One or Indy car. Copyright date, if we can find one, is 1992 on the bottom of this. So it actually probably came out in 93 is actually when this probably was first used. It's pretty cool casting, actually. It's all metal. Like everything's metal on it. Base. Both wings are metal. Except for the dude that's the racer driver that's in there. He's plastic. Of course, the wheels and tires are plastic, but everything else is metal. I think that's a cool one. I've always liked the like Formula One style cars, even though they're kind of unlicensed fantasy models from Hot Wheels. I've always thought they were kind of cool. So here's another one. This is the Thunderstreak in Pennzoil livery, number 153. So there's that, and this one, copyright date on the base. Let's see if we can find one here. 1982. Yeah, this casting definitely dates back. It's an older one. Construction-wise, it's got metal wing here. It's like metal in the middle. The Pennzoil you see in the side, this is a plastic piece right here. The driver, it's weird because the top of his head or the helmet is actually metal, and then he's actually plastic. So interesting construction. Then you got basic wheels, metal base. Overall, it's a pretty cool little car. And like I said, I just kind of like these Formula One style cars, even though they're fantasy castings from Hot Wheels. And we got a couple more to look at. This next one is also titled Thunderstreak, but it's a different tooling. And it looks quite a bit different. Collector number 153. And this one was copyright date 1982, so another older one. Very similar in construction, as you can kind of see there. So you do have the metal body, like the front end piece I think is the same. I think the only real difference, well, the top piece is a little different because the wing doesn't come off of there. It comes off of the base instead. So it's constructed a little bit differently. But they are titled the same, which is kind of weird. But it's got that smaller, like, lower riding wing. Interesting. Gives it a little bit of a different look. Still, both of these are pretty cool. I think they're cool to have. I like these little race cars. And then, lastly, this is the Turbo Streak, which is a bit of a different one as well. This one, let's see what the copyright date is on this one. This was a very hot pink color. Copyright date 1982. So these all came out around the same time. This one's quite a bit different. It is mostly metal. So metal base, metal body, metal dude that is part of the base piece, and then it has a plastic blacked out chrome engine piece in the back. And there's that one. And that's going to be it, guys, for this 10 Car Tuesday. So we looked at actually 4 different Formula One castings, which I thought all these are pretty cool. I had to open them up together. I dig them. I'm not going to go after a bunch of them, but they're just kind of cool to have. So I like those. And then out of these other ones, my favorite is probably going to either be this or this. You guys know I love Firebirds and I love Lamborghinis, especially the Countach. So both of these are welcome adds to the loose car collection. This thing's definitely weird. Look at that finish one more time. The chrome plastic. This one's a really cool car. Glad to have a mint example of this one. And then this one is broken. So, weirdly broken. Like, I don't know what is stopping the base actually from going all the way in on that side. I don't see any metal flashing. I don't see any obvious issue. It might actually be stemming all the way up from the windshield being a little bit too thick in the plastic on the bottom, and that's what's preventing the interior from sitting in 100% correct, and the tolerance is just off enough where you can't get this side of the base down, and that's why it didn't rivet in all the way. Interesting. And then, of course, the Jeep. So, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed these 10 Car Tuesday episodes, please check out the playlist that they are in. Guarantee you will dig it if you liked this episode. And please hit the like button. Please comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a good day.